So now we are on to the community boards, and first up is Braden Cashmere, Heathcote and Callum and Kia, both here. Thank you.
I kept saying, you know.
Good to see you again.
See you, Tim.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're really not with it today, are you, mate?
no,
And this just so everyone knows, this covers May and June reports because we didn't have what's right.
Thanks for welcoming us back. Ngā mihi nui. Yeah, right into it. Oh. Cool. So just starting off with picture up there is of the Crest community group. They are at an information session around community support and emergency response. This is just a bit of a sits in a bit of a context of our board for adaptation planning and emergency response. So our board recently had a presentation from staff around the next stages of adaptation planning, which we're really excited about. Staff have completed an initial piece of work in the Banks Peninsula and looking at different options for where to next for adaptation planning around the area from Sumner right up the parts of the city. It's really, really important for our communities, and we've got a huge number of groups that are really interested in this topic. So we're expecting wherever we finally decide to begin the next phase that will have lots of residents on board as well who can participate. So looking forward to that. Not yet. No. Next slide, please. Cool. We've had lots of activity in Addington over the last few weeks from the neighbourhood building project we've got, which is called Kia Ora Addington. So this is one of our board priorities. We've tried a different model of funding here to invest in community leaders and building a platform, a network of volunteer leaders within the community who have access to networks and resources to support members of the community who want to come forward and run events and activities in the community. So it's a funding model that's been picked up by DIA, who are now trialling a similar approach in other parts of our city, including Hoonhay and another suburb which escapes my memory at the moment.
It's not in our ward.
Not in our ward, yeah. So it doesn't really sit on my radar at all. Yeah. So we're really proud of that achievement. That obviously we've seen a lot of success there. We encourage you to ask us about it more after this. Selwyn and Milton Street, I'll jump onto that next. This is a really hot topic for our boards. Next slide, please. Actually, you might want to put that one.
Yeah, so Selwyn and Milton, it's a really busy intersection. It's probably a classic of that case where we've got densification, more housing going in. Lots of those houses have kids in them, which is awesome, and there's lots of schools around there. You've got Summerfield, you've got Christchurch South, you've got Cashmere High, and you've also got the fact that with growth out in Hallswell, Milton Street is picking up a lot of traffic and it's becoming busier and busier. So there's a lot of concern in the community around the safety of that intersection, particularly following a really tragic accident that happened with a child on the way to school there recently. So that came to us in public forum, and there's some thoughts around potentially looking at the speed of that intersection and whether something like a barnstands crossing model might help. We've got some minor safety improvements coming to the board as part of CRAF, but we really want to keep thinking about how can we make these kind of intersections safe for everyone who uses them.
So add to that really is that traffic safety, pedestrian safety, especially for kids, just continues to be a really, really high priority issue for everyone in our board across our whole board area. Next slide, please.
Cave Rock. Yeah, the Cave Rock lights. I guess the first thing to say is, look, this has been a contentious issue, and we're really committed to working for it respectfully. But we also need the community to come along with us on that journey. So a bit of a, I guess, plea that people are respectful as we work through this, because there are some hot button issues in here. So we've gone out to consult between the 12th and the 28th of May. We've asked about the schedule of the light operation, brightness, and the configuration of the lights, and we'll be looking to have advice back to us on the 28th of August, where we will be looking to make a decision. But again, I guess we know this is going to be contentious, and the more that people can come with a positive and open attitude to that process is going to be.
Thank you. And just finally, blast through the last couple of slides here. We had a really successful Community Pride Garden Awards and Edible Sustainable Garden Awards with lots of attendees and really good buzz in the community about that. And yeah, and final slide. Yeah, towards done a lot of advocacy around the Grange Street renewal, Waterman renewal, and we're happy to say that that's gone ahead. So yeah, fixing a really sore point for our community as well. So yeah, that's all we've got to say today.
Tyler had his hand up earlier, so we'll just do one question.
It's about item 12.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. But did you ask about, do you know about the agenda on the table today with item 12 around the delegations for parties?
Oh, yes. Can you remind me?
Is this the plan A,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You seem to be affected, but it's not noted in the report, unless I'm mistaken.
do you want me to talk to that?
Yeah,
one,
go
Helen?
for it, Kev. Yeah.
So my favourite topic, community board delegations. Look, I think what I would say is that fundamentally the best way to make good decisions is to have good processes and good people. I think I would encourage, I think delegations are not the most important thing in terms of exactly who does what. So it's about, having good people with good processes. I'm always slightly concerned. I think, as you've seen, the board has a lot more capacity to get into the nitty-gritty of issues. So we always want to make sure we're balancing our capacity as a board to get into the nitty-gritty and really engage with residents. We can do a site visit to somewhere like Selwyn and Milton in a way that the council just can't do a site visit. So I think there's a trade-off there, and I guess that's kind of my take on that.
The real question would be, were you given opportunity to be consulted, or does the board know about it?
Not as a board, no. We had a conversation about it at board chairs, but yeah.
Okay, no worries, thanks.
Okay, thank you, gents. Right, Jason, I see Bridget.
Here they are. Two months.
We'll see how this goes.
Very good to see you. Very good to see you. Well done.
Terrible way.
15th of May, the community government's team, slide please. Oh, am I driving this now, am I? Yeah. On the 15th of May 2025, the community governance team ran a session on community and responding to emergencies. 18 people came from 12 different organisations. The aim of the session was to get organisations thinking about how they could try and see happen in their local community. They were asked to look at what policies, procedures, physical supplies and organisational resources they currently have in place. The feedback was extremely positive from the attendees. Many of the organisations are now working on getting more prepared. A few of the groups attending are looking at how they coordinate wider community responses and support.
So next up, our board received a public forum from some young people from the local area asking for some dirt in Jeffreys Reserve so they could make some bike jumps. The board agreed to an 8-month trial. When the children spoke to the board, they talked about how this would give them something different to do after school and in the weekends, rather than being stuck at home watching TV or on their computers. The council's park team worked with the young people and organised for some dirt to be delivered in the park. The community partnership rangers, local children and some parents got together with their shovels and created some jumps. There are now a number of kids in the park on their bikes after school and absolutely having a blast. Thanks to the parks team for their willingness to look at opportunities for unstructured play within our parks. And it's just out there if anyone's interested. Then the Waimeru Whenua Māori Harewood Community Service Awards were held on Tuesday, the 17th of June at the Commodore Hotel. The community board had the pleasure of presenting 13 awards to members of the local community for their outstanding volunteer service. These awards are a way of thanking and honouring volunteers who demonstrate dedication and passion, greatly benefiting Two of our recipients were Chris and Erin Bond, nominated for their services to Burnside West Christchurch University Cricket Club, Gordon Scouts and Southern Hockey. We have a short video of Chris, aka Bondi, talking about the award on More FM, where he is the producer of the morning show. This video gives an insight into how valued these local awards are to the recipients. I think if I just do, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's good.
And just to wrap up, on Monday, the 30th of June, Suresh resigned from his role as a member of our community board. Suresh was given the opportunity for a job transfer to Sydney, which means he and his wife were able to reconnect with his children and his 8-month-old grandchild. Our board would just like to take this opportunity to thank Suresh and acknowledge the contribution to the board. Member. Thus.
Good. Excellent. No questions. Well done. Thank you very much. And thanks, Bridget, for the effort to coming in.
Well done, Cooper.
Okay, Papua New Central, it's just Simon and.
Be invited to join.
Kia ora, not Emma Norris, she's sick today.
Yes, I believe.
Ko Stacey Takawinga, I'm the Community Development Advisor, but acting manager this week.
Good to see you.
Tēnā tātou katoa, ngā mihi nui ki rā o tatahi. We have 2 months to cover in 5 minutes. I'll go quick. So in our main meeting, we had public forums from some members of our community, including a young person coming to talk to us about safe pedestrian crossings on Fitzgerald Avenue. A member of the public talking to us about the Dudley character area and the design guide being promoted to residents in that area, and also from the vicar at Holy Trinity Church in Avonside, who was speaking to the church's activities and vision for homeless in that area. You may be aware that church has opened a car park to offer a safe space for people who have no option than to sleep in their cars or even tents on that site.
And the op shop, Simon.
And yes, if you'd like to support their work, I know they are working with council around some compliance matters around that, but as councillors, if you'd like to support that, they have an op shop open Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. In June, we heard from the Tumuaki Principal Justin Fields of Christchurch North College, which is a new and small school coordinating closely with the high schools in the northwest of Christchurch. We also heard from a young gentleman who was part of the Old Tawhiri robotics team. Have I got the right school, Jake? I'm just
Yeah, that's right.
yes. Supported by a youth development fund to compete in the robotics championships. Heard from a carbon negative use of end of life of urban timber. and also from Predator St Albans, who have 150 traps now. In the last 2 years, they've been operating in the St Albans area. In June, we had deputations from the Sutton Heritage House and Garden Charitable Trust in relation to the lease of Sutton House to that trust, which was subsequently approved by. We also had a couple of deputations in relation to the Petrie Park tree planting plan, and as a result of what we heard in those deputations, as a board, we just made a slight tweak to the decision just to support staff working with We Are Richmond and with an affected resident there to get the best outcome. In Anzac Day, the board attended and laid a wreath at what will be the last ever Anzac service at the Papanui RSA's current site. The RSA is on the move, and it's expected that next year's service, which is always extremely well attended by our local community, will still be held in the Papanui area, but at a site to be confirmed. Some community events that were held in autumn. Firstly, Te Oroho held a night market at the Windermere Road premises, which was fundraising for attendance at a national youth event coming up this year, with kai activities in the schools. And 2 words, if you want to go to this next year, if it's on again, fry bread hamburger. That is something that changed my life. I'll definitely be going back for that. We also had the Eid al-Fitr festival marking the end of Ramadan, held in the events triangle at North Hagley Park, and thank you to staff who supported that. And thirdly, there was a full market at the Phillipstown Community Hub with entertainment, food, market stalls, and activities. And the engagement team were there with voting tokens and talking to the community about the Cross Street Reserve play space renewal. The concept design, which has subsequently been approved by them. Over Youth Week, a number of youth organisations across our board facilitated events, including Te Oroho Youth and Cultural Development Trust. Thank you to Northlands Shopping Centre as well for hosting events. And lastly, an update on some of our green spaces. In Rutland Reserve, there's been community plantings. There's also a plan to plant a kahikatea tree that's been gifted to the Vanuatu community in honour of their language being included in the Ministry of Pacific Peoples Language Week series. There's been an infill planting session at the Shirley Birdsong Trail at McFarlane Park with Shirley Community Trust. There's been regular maintenance at Papanui Bush, and there's been some specimen trees planted at the Langdons Road frontage there, and an Arbor Day planting event more recently. And at Pack Reserve Community Garden, there's been new seating, new plants, and extensive tree maintenance. And really a big thank you to our community partnership rangers and to all the community groups and volunteers who contribute to those green spaces. Cool.
Absolutely perfect timing. Did you take a second? Very well done. Great report, and thanks. That's 2 months worth, so very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have